Okay, so I don't know exactly if I am live or not. Okay, so I don't know exactly if I am live or not. All right. So what are we going to do today? That is, we are going to solve one question of lead code. That is a question that finds its importance in many aspects, right? Whether you are in BTech or you are in high school or maybe in class 12th coding level, and you are just trying to get into the basics of coding as of how to just code in C sometimes. Then the question is to find a palindrome number, and it is necessary to check whether a given number is a palindrome number or not. So the question is very simple. That is, you have been provided with an integer x. We have to return true if x is a palindrome, and we have to return false in any otherwise case. Let's say that x is just not a palindrome number. In that case, we have to return it as false. What is a palindrome number? Here are few examples that we can refer to. So example one is if input x is equal to 121, then that is true. It means that if I write 121 into reverse order from right to left, I will form a new number from right to left. Then also that is going to be 121 only. So 1 to 1 either read from left to right or from right to left, that is the same number. So that is the reason why it is a palindrome number. So the output is necessarily going to be true. What is the case from negative 121? So it is not a palindrome number. Why is it not a palindrome number? Because from left to right, we will read it as minus 121, but from right to left, it becomes 121 minus. So therefore, it is not a palindrome number. And when we will look at 10, from left to right, that is 10, but from right to left, that is 01. So again, that is not a palindrome number. One thing or one observation that we can make without any coding is that no negative number can be a palindrome number, right? Only positive numbers or zero is supposed to be a palindrome number or something like this. So if I will put a C program onto the right side, that is supposed to be my codable area, we can necessarily see that here is a function, boolean is palindrome integer x. So it is very clear that the return data type that we have to return, that is boolean, and the input that we are getting is some sort of x. So what is going to be our algorithm or what is going to be our path to solve this question? We will try to form a new number. That new number is going to be the reverse of this number. And how are we going to do that? See, since here it is 121, let's say, so I will necessarily just try to decode this one out, the first one, the one with a higher significant value, the MSB one, I will try to decode that out by dividing this whole number by 10. And then whatever my new variable is, I will try to put this one there. And then I will divide this x by 10 and I will keep on multiplying that one by 10. So this one is going to be divided, but that one is going to necessarily be multiplied. So since I'm going to perform my each and every operation on this x only, I need to store this x somewhere. So at the end, I can compare it with whatever variable I'm going to get as a new format. So I will make a new integer y. I will store this as x, and then I will make some new, uh, let's say integer n, and I will put this as 0. What is n going to do? N has the work, that is n will be storing whatsoever. Let me just Okay. So n will be storing whatsoever our new reversed variable is going to be. And we will perform this calculation until or unless x is not equal to 0. Up to the point where x is not equal to 0, we will keep on doing these calculations. When x is equal to 0, we will stop these calculations necessarily. But one thing that we can assert in whatsoever manner is if x is less than 0, in that case, I can immediately return false. Right. Because if x is negative, then it cannot be palindrome in whatsoever condition or whatsoever case that is possible. So up to the point when x is not equal to 0, let's say, up to the point when x is not equal to 0, what we are going to do is that we will make a new integer, let's say integer remainder. We will store this x modulus 10 into that format. That is the remainder of that part. And then I will do that, that is n is equal to n multiplied by 10 plus this remainder, because now what necessarily we have to do is that we have to just reverse this order. So when I find out this one, when I try to merge this out, peg this one out. So this has to become the most significant bit. That is why it is multiplied by this plus remainder. Okay. And we have to reduce this part. That is, x has to be divided by 10. So that x keeps on dividing. I guess this much is the only part that is important. Once x becomes 0, we will stop talking about these things, or we will stop talking about these terms. Okay. So now, since we have gone through all of the calculations, as we have already stated x somewhere, because if we will do all these calculations, then x is lost. X necessarily becomes 0 after this loop. So this is the reason why we had, stored this. Okay, what is this? I'm sorry. So this is the reason why we had already stored this x somewhere into some other variable, that is y. Now what we are going to do is we are going to check if the new variable that is formed is equal to y. If that is the case, then we will return that it is true. And if that is not the case, then we will return that it is false. Let's try to submit this code and check whether it is working or not. Okay, so it has some sort of runtime error. I don't understand what. All right. Okay. So if the number is very, very long, in that case, it is just going to go through an overflow. So I will just do something instead of going through the um. All right. Let's just do something instead of taking it as this. I will just go through it as long, right? So that it works. I hope it should work now. Okay. So as we can see that it runs within 4 millisecond runtime. My runtime is somewhat greater than that of most of the people possible. But anyways, this is the most simplified version of how can we find the palindrome of a number exactly. So if you guys want that I should solve another question, that is one more question, you guys should put it in the chat box. Otherwise, we will just end the live stream. This was the first live stream. It is just as a demo version. I can see that few people are in the live stream or few people are necessarily watching. So if you guys can just drop a message. Okay, anyways, no worries. All right, then it is enough for today. I hope that you would have necessarily learned something from this thing, right? So, anyways, guys, thank you.